So the situation here is like this. The ministers for education and interior, Kipchumba Murkomen and Ogamba, are already here, and they're headed towards the scene of the fire incident. You can see the yellow tape that has cordoned off that area. This is the farthest we've been able to get. The security agencies have been deployed here to control even how the media is going to get access to the scene. Yeah, but so far this is what is happening.
A school dormitory is supposed to be a shelter of dreams. Last night in Gilgil, it became a chamber of smoke, panic, screams and silence. Kenya has woken up to one of the most heartbreaking tragedies of 2026 after a devastating fire tore through a girls' dormitory at Utumishi Girls Academy Senior School in Nakuru County. And tonight, the country is once again asking the same painful question that returns after every school disaster like a ghost that never leaves this nation completely buried. How many children must die before safety becomes serious in Kenyan boarding schools? The latest reports indicate that at least 10 students have been confirmed dead after the inferno erupted in the early hours of Thursday morning between around 1 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. while students were asleep inside the dormitory. The fire spread in darkness, fast, violently, like a sad movie scene nobody ever wants to watch in real life. Survivors describe confusion, smoke, screaming, girls running barefoot into the cold night, and desperate attempts to escape as flames swallowed parts of the building. And then came the detail that has shaken Kenyans online even more. Reports from survivors and eyewitnesses claim the dormitory door may have been locked or jammed from the outside, making escape difficult during the inferno. Authorities have not officially confirmed that claim, but if investigations establish that students were trapped with limited escape routes, this tragedy could trigger national outrage far beyond Nakuru County, because for many Kenyans, this story feels painfully familiar, too familiar.
Mchungaji wa hapa Nakuru County, na pia mimi nimekuja kwa sababu ya mshirika wetu ambaye mtoto wake pia anasomea hapa. Tunaweza kusema kama vile ripota wetu amesema, indeed is a very tragic day and a very sad day kwa wakazi wetu wa county yetu ya Nakuru, na hasa kwa shule hii ya Utumishi Girls kwa sababu ya mkasa ambao umepatikana. Kwa sasa tunaendelea kugojea, tumetoka kule ndani kwenye ukumbi na tunagojea ripoti kamili, kwa sababu kuna wakuu wanaogojewa, kuna pia wachunguzi ambao wanagojewa. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa tuwezi kusema ripoti kamili, labda tuseme tu kama vile tu tumearifiwa kuna watoto ambao wamechomekea hapa na wameaga, na pia kuna wengine walipelekwa kule hospitalini St. Joseph, na tunashukuru kwa sababu ya wale walioshughulika sana, watu wa Red Cross, kuwapeleka wale waliopata majeraha. Nimekuwa pale St. Joseph na nimeona watoto wametibiwa na wameshughulikiwa na hata wengine wamerudishwa hapa. So ni kuendelea tu kugojea the official report, na tuendelee kuomba kwa sababu ya wale wazazi wamepoteza watoto na pia wale watoto ambao wameumia. Tuendelee kuomba kwamba Mungu atawapa amani na atawatenda mema.
Ni kazini yangu wako hapa, anaitwa Erika Wairimu Mwangi, na hii nilisikia kitu saa 7 ikielekea hiyo King'ora na nikatoka nje, so sikuelewa iko wapi, na nikarudi saa 7:30 kwa nyumba, ndio hapo ilianza kuisha hiyo King'ora. Ndio sasa baadaye ndio nikasikia ni hii masaa asubuhi 5 ni Utumishi kuliwaka moto. Ndio sasa tukajadiliana nikuje nione ni nini inaendelea.
The images coming from Utumishi Girls Academy look like scenes from a national nightmare replaying itself again under different names, different uniforms, different faces. Video footage circulating online shows a chaotic emergency response under dark skies. Security personnel in camouflage moving around the compound, large Isuzu trucks with headlights piercing through the smoke and confusion. Crowds of terrified parents gathered outside school gates waiting for answers no parent should ever hear.
Hatujaweza kuwaruhusu kwanza kuwaeleza kina vile kilivyo. Lakini kwa sasa tunasubiri wakaguzi wetu wa kuangalia mambo ya kisayansia. Vile tunasubiri wahudumu wetu na wauguzi ambao wanashughulikia watoto wetu, na vile tunataka wazazi kwanza, kwa sababu hapa kuna baridi, tukae ndani pale. Alafu tukiwa ndani pale ndio tutawazungumzia na tuambie ni hatua zipi ambazo tunachukua, na pia tuwaeleze kwa kina tatizo liko vipi.
Some students were rushed to nearby hospitals with severe injuries as emergency teams battled through the night to control the situation. And while rescue operations continued, families began receiving the calls every Kenyan parent fears most. The kind of phone call that changes a family forever. The kind that turns a normal school term into lifelong grief within minutes. This tragedy has now exploded into a national conversation because Kenyans are no longer just mourning. They are questioning school preparedness, questioning dormitory infrastructure, questioning whether lessons from previous disasters were ever truly implemented or simply discussed loudly for 2 weeks before the country moved on again. In Kenya, school fires carry emotional scars deeper than ordinary news headlines. They reopen national trauma. Every generation remembers at least one school tragedy that shocked the country into silence, and every time it happens again, the nation reacts like a family watching an old wound reopen in slow motion. That is why emotions online today are not just sadness. There is anger too, frustration, exhaustion, a feeling that Kenya keeps burying children while promising reforms that arrive too slowly or disappear quietly into bureaucracy.
Lakini kwa sasa unaona tumefunga kila mahali, maafisa wetu wako ndani wanakagua kila sehemu. Ndiposa tutakapopata nafasi ya kuwaeleza, tuwaeleze taarifa ambayo sisi wenyewe pia tumeiangalia na tumeithibiti. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa mwenyekiti wa wazazi pia chair, si mnamjua wazazi, mnamjua mwenyekiti wenu Douglas, atawaongoza paka mahali mtaenda kukaa.
Every political leaders are struggling to find words. Kalonzo Musyoka joined the country in mourning the students, describing them as young girls full of dreams and full of life, whose families are now shattered by unimaginable pain. And that sentence captures the real weight of this story. Dreams interrupted, lives paused before they even properly began. A dormitory is supposed to protect ambition. Parents send children to boarding schools believing they are sending them toward a better future. But on Thursday morning in Gilgil, some parents arrived at school gates not to check academic performance but to identify victims. The reality is devastating. Tonight, detectives are investigating the exact cause of the fire while Kenyans wait for official confirmation on casualty numbers, possible structural failures, and whether emergency exits functioned properly during the inferno. And those details matter because the story is no longer only about one school. It is now about trust between parents and institutions, trust between citizens and safety systems, trust that when Kenyan children sleep in school dormitories, somebody somewhere has taken every possible precaution to make sure they wake up alive. This tragedy at Utumishi Girls